Hey, welcome to Beyond Time Management. I'm Dr. Lon Schiffbauer, and this is Module 6, Organizing Tools and Environments. In our previous module, we talked about how to systematize your actions, basically make your productivity a habit. But in many ways, our actions are dependent upon our tools and our environments. And so that's what we're going to discuss today, how to set up our environments, the places in which we work, to optimize productivity. Essentially, we want to make it really easy to just ease into flow state. But then, hold on, what is flow state? It's really worth taking a moment to discuss this because flow state is totally and completely awesome. It's often called being in the zone. Flow is a mental state where you're fully immersed and focused on an activity, losing track of time and feeling at one with the work. So yeah, a well-designed environment can help us get into flow state, increase productivity, and minimize distractions. Now, there are a bunch of ways to do this, so you'll want to research this and so forth, but the one that we are going to discuss today, that we're going to do a deep dive into, is called Lean. Lean is a methodology that enables us to increase productivity and really deliver the results we're looking for, all by minimizing waste and making sure that we're applying the right resources to the right things at the right time. And to a tremendous degree, Lean really focuses on the actual environment and tools in which we are working. So let's go ahead and look at the 5 pillars of Lean. Now, a quick note, Lean came out of Japan, out of Toyota to be specific, and it's kind of part of that family of methodologies that Six Sigma belongs to and so forth. So we're going to be talking about a few Japanese terms. The first is sort, or seiri. In the sort phase, you identify and remove anything that doesn't serve a clear purpose or contribute to your objectives. This means looking at your environment and your tools and your materials and figuring out what do you need to be successful and, what's basically constituting clutter, what's getting in the way, and what's going to stand as a barrier between you and your objectives. The second pillar is set in order, or seiton. When you set your environment in order, you arrange the remaining tools, materials, and resources, those things you decided you actually need to reach your objectives, in a logical, accessible way. By accessible, I mean you can get the right tool and right materials at the right time with minimum action. Now, 2 terms that I really like, and actually from Adam Savage, the dude you see here with me, is first order of retrievability, and lowest possible threshold to flow state. Now, first order of retrievability basically means you don't have to move a tool to get to the tool you want, or you don't have to move materials to get to the materials you want. What you need is what you can get. First order of retrievability. You can just reach out and get it and not have to move your environment around. The second principle he talks about is lowest possible threshold to flow state, meaning you really want to set things up so that getting what you need in terms of tools or materials doesn't get in the way of your flow. You don't have to pull yourself out of the work to get what you need and then kind of put yourself back into the work. You want everything to just kind of be where you need it to be when you need it to be there. That's all part of set in order, or seiton. The third pillar is shine, or seiso. When you shine, you regularly clean your workspace and tools to keep them in optimal condition. The idea is that each time you use the tool, it's exactly where you put it. Well, we're going to talk more about that later, but it's in fantastic shape. It's nice and clean. It's ready to go. You can just grab it and get done what you need to get done. Same with your workspace. You want to make sure that it's always clean, neat, and tidy. And with this in mind, I'd like to share with you 2 concepts. One is mise en place and reset. Mise en place is a French term often used in cooking. It means set in place. Mise, put, place. You get the idea, set in place. The idea is, at least when you're cooking, you arrange all your ingredients in the quantities that you need so that when you're putting everything together, you just reach out, grab it, dump it in, and you're good to go. So it is kind of setup time that you spend to make sure that when you're doing the actual work, it flows effortlessly. This is mise en place, and it can be applied to any work environment. The second one is reset. At the end of each work session, day, what have you, you put everything back. You reset. Make sure all your tools are put back in the right place, all the materials are put back in the right place, so that when you leave your work environment, it is crystal clear, spanking clean new, whatever adjective you want to use. You leave it perfectly immaculate. That way, when you come back later on, it's this nice, clean, sublime workspace just inviting you to ease right into flow. The fourth pillar is standardize, or seiketsu. In this step, you want to create repeatable systems and processes to maintain order and consistency. You're never reinventing the wheel. You're never having to figure things out that you figured out before. You go ahead and set up standard processes and systems so that each time you are working, you're working on the objective, not working on how to do the work, if that makes sense. Figure out how to do the work, standardize that so that when you come into your nice, clean environment, you're going right into the work, right into the objective, and not trying to figure out, how am I going to approach this? You don't have to worry about that. You've standardized everything. The fifth and final pillar of lean is sustain, or shitsuke. In this pillar, step, whatever, I've been using lots of words. Point is, at this point, you want to continuously reassess, improve, and maintain the systems and habits that you have built. Sure, you set everything up and it's fantastic, but situations change and environments change and the conditions of your project change. So you want to always assess your setup to make sure that it is always in optimal state of flow. This means making some adjustments here and there and so forth. That's exactly what this stage is all about. So now you have a really solid environment and all the right tools in which to do the work, and that is fantastic. And you're kicking ass. You're doing lots of work. You've got your input goals and your whole environment is optimized for flow. But now you need to worry about the people around you. You don't work in a vacuum. You need the help and support of others to accomplish what you're setting out to accomplish. And that's what we're going to talk about in our next module: stakeholder management and building support. Support for your project, support for your work, and support for your vision. So stick around and let's keep moving forward. All right, that's all I've got for today. Now, go off and make some trouble. Stakeholder management and building support. Support for your project, support for your project, support for your project, support for your work, and support for your vision.